Welcome to the Catapult competition, where more than 50 women submitted business plans and ideas for a chance to win a $10,000 technology package presented by MasterCard. The 3 finalists selected are Dawn Mansky, Made for Freedom; Sherry Suma, St. Louis Radon Test and Mitigation; and Stacy Taubman, Rise Collaborative. Each finalist has received professional business coaching to refine their business plans and presentations from our sponsors, Anders CPAs Plus Advisors, Eagle Bank and Trust, and Webster University. Now, let's take a sneak peek and learn a little more about each finalist and the journey they've been on with their coaches the last 12 weeks.
Made for Freedom is a for-profit social enterprise. We partner with centers around the world that provide dignified employment for survivors of sex trafficking and marginalized situations. Our products are made by women that either are at risk of exploitation or have been rescued from exploitation and need that key component of dignified employment. We serve as a distribution so that those women continue to have employment, because without those jobs, they end up in a vulnerable place again.
Dawn's biggest strength as an entrepreneur is her passion. And being an entrepreneur is pretty difficult for anybody, but for her it's more than just a business.
I lived in China for 10 years and I saw the effects of human trafficking and I saw what it looks like. The more I learned about sex trafficking, the more I learned about human trafficking, the more I was horrified at what was going on, and I desperately wanted to do something.
Made for Freedom is a for-profit company, so there's a very vested interest in ramping up sales and selling product, but the goal is to sell more product to create more jobs for more people to actually transform their lives and to get out of a bad situation.
This is a topic that people care about. People want to see an end to human trafficking. And this is a practical, hands-on way that they see how their time and their energies are helping.
So Dawn, I am really impressed with where you've come from since the beginning of this process. The new branding, your look at being strategic and just thinking long-term about where you are and what you want to do is very impressive.
So we've had a lot of different conversations and meetings with Dawn. We have really focused in on the story and the mission.
When this started, I think I had gotten into a rut of the language that I use. And working with Nicole and Eric and Terry has really given me new thoughts on how to communicate the impact that we make and how to help people understand what we do.
I think when people understand what's behind the selling of the products, they're going to learn that it's really about a much bigger problem, a much bigger mission.
What did you just say?
There's a sentence in this that is a hanging chad for me.
We're getting rid of it.
I'm not sure which side where it's going. I'm not quite sure of it.
But we're going to try and get rid of the hanging chad.
We've helped Dawn realize that the mission and the scope of the business and what it's trying to do is really the main message. That's what needs to be put out there. People are going to hear those stories over and over again. That's what's going to want them to buy the product. It doesn't mean that they won't be attracted to the products anyway.
Right.
But it may really help reinforce and more shares, getting more people to the site, more purchases.
I have a team of supporters right here. Like, they're coaching me and we're talking about marketing and we're talking about strategy. Nicole said some things that just touched my heart in a way that I wasn't anticipating from a coaching team.
When we all left our first meeting, it was like we were kind of walking on air, because it was like, wow, this is intense, but this is really, really inspiring.
My brain decided now was a good time to get up and to think about all these things. And it's 2-something. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 2:36 a.m.
If Dawn shows the passion and emotion that we've seen during the coaching sessions, I think she's going to knock the pitch out of the park.
I don't feel like this is a competition. Like, I know that on the 27th, I am competing with a 60-second pitch. But the process leading up to the conference is not a competition. I have people coming alongside me and supporting me and encouraging me and providing insights that I need. This has only been beneficial, and it's only been productive, and it's only been helpful.
I've been an engineer and a construction manager for most of my career, the last 20 years, and I decided that I wanted to be in control of my own destiny. And this opportunity to purchase this business, St. Louis Radon, presented itself, and I thought, what better way to use my skills than to help save people's lives and improve the community. Radon is a colorless, odorless gas that's radioactive, and it comes from the ground underneath your home when uranium decays, and it's important that homes test for it because it's the second leading cause of lung cancer. St. Louis Radon tests for radon and installs mitigation systems in St. Louis and the surrounding area. A lot of people don't know what radon is, and most people only test their homes when they are involved in a real estate transaction. And that means most people are at risk.
I think one of the strengths of St. Louis Radon is that it's been in business for 9 years. They've mitigated over 6,000 houses. So it's a very established company.
To test for radon, we use what is called a continuous monitor. And if your levels of radon are elevated, then we also provide the service of installing a mitigation system.
Many people talk the talk, but few have the resilience and focus to walk the walk.
The unique trait that I bring to the business is that I'm a licensed professional engineer in 4 states. That's not very common in this industry. So I bring a level of expertise and understanding of the geology underneath your home and also of construction.
When I see Sherry, I see the engineer that she is by trade. She's detailed driven and zealous about the work that she is in.
I've met with Chris almost every week since this competition started.
Like so many small business owners, she is in the weeds every day putting out fires and doesn't often have a chance to stop and ask, what's next in terms of growing my business?
Chris has helped me figure out how to step away from the business, step away from the operations, and let other people do things that may not be my strength and allow me to grow the business and be out in the community raising awareness.
A lot of our sessions focused on was which of these services does she need to handle? Which of these is she comfortable handing off?
Chris has taught me that I work way too much in my business and not on my business. So I've started setting aside a couple hours every Monday and every Friday to do just that.
So one of the things that we are able to offer as a bank is a broad network.
It's really been amazing how many connections Chris has been able to get me in front of. And today I'm spending my time preparing to meet with the president of the St. Louis Association of Realtors.
As I meet with her, I can tell how much it matters to her to be a public servant in that way too, to raise the specter of awareness around radon.
When we're in neighborhoods that we've installed a mitigation system, we want to let the neighbors know that there have been elevated levels found in that neighborhood. So
Yep. Our meetings always have an agenda. Now walk me through the updates at the top of the page that have been made recently. So I know you've kind of been working on the pitch here. Let's take a look at it, but I did have a few other alternatives that we might want to consider right here. We'll of course always touch base on what were we supposed to get done before this meeting, and what's left to be done.
this whole entire process has been great, from working with the Business Journal to working with Chris and Eagle Bank, and I'm sorry that it's coming to an end, but I know my relationship with Eagle Bank will continue for many years.
The question was never about, will this be profitable? It's how does this grow and even more positively impact the St. Louis area?
What do you really want to be known for? How are you going to make a difference in the world? And I wasn't making a big enough impact. And this is something that I believe in. It's a public health issue. It's an issue that most people don't know about.
Rise Collaborative is a female-focused co-working space, really connecting successful women to the next generation. I was a high school math teacher for 12 years and started my first company, Girls Dreaming Big, in 2013. And when I left teaching, I hated working from home. I did what any sane person would do. I started a second company, Rise Collaborative, to really solve those problems and give other professional women like myself a place to conduct business.
I think her biggest strength is just her passion and her excitement about this project. And I just think she has so much enthusiasm. So I think as a business owner, that's a wonderful trait to have.
Rise Collaborative is a hybrid model. We have 11 private offices and we have 9 of them reserved already. So we're excited about that. And we also have drop-in memberships for that open co-working space. Being a former high school math teacher, building out a physical brick and mortar space was quite a change, and I had a ton of learning to do. There's so many small details that I am much more of a big picture person, so having someone to support all the details has been incredibly helpful.
The space is amazing. I've been to the space twice now, and the difference from the first time I went there to the second time I went was it's just really come together.
It's really a great atmosphere to be in. It makes me want to be there every day, and really what makes us different than the rest is the women that we're bringing to the table. We have really sought out amazing, dynamic, incredible women. And my first company, Girls Dreaming Big, is about inspiring the next generation. And I think it's so important to surround those girls with the impressive women I've met through my journey and help them realize there's so many other careers out there. So really having a home base to inspire them. Well, I've been really lucky here at Anders. We have a huge team of people that come from, whether it's technology, marketing, accounting, business development, you name it, we have support.
Here at Anders, we think the team approach is the best way to approach this competition. We feel like we have a lot of people with a lot of expertise that can provide Stacy with a lot of different things instead of focusing on just one area.
Every coaching session has been a little bit different, whether we're meeting in a restaurant, in our space, here at Anders. We've been really fortunate to have a wide variety of people supporting all of our needs.
Stacy, in addition to the business that she's launching, so there's a not-for-profit arm to that, and that's called the Rise Society. So I was fortunate enough to get paired up with Stacy and help work with her on some of those efforts. Let's come full circle on where you are with your exemption application to the IRS for the Rise Society. And where you are with implementing some of those governance policies that we talked about.
I think when we first started, Stacy was just kind of lacking that general business knowledge. She wasn't sure how things needed to be set up from an accounting and tax perspective. And I think she also just needed some help in general business areas.
When you're new, you feel really unsure, am I making the right decisions? And everyone's telling you something different, and so you don't know who to trust or what to listen to. So having someone on the Anders team that we really can trust to point us in the right direction has been really helpful.
I think she just kind of needed some general business knowledge to kind of help her take her to the next step.
So are any of the cities we just talked about potential for city number 2, or do you have a few narrowed down?
Atlanta.
In addition to the Catapult competition, they're opening their space, they're having special events, they're raising money, they're putting people into their spaces in various capacities. So to say that she's busy would be definitely an understatement.
Starting my day after a sleepless night, it's crazy how many nights I lay awake perseverating on, did we pick the right color? Well, when we started, the space hadn't even been built out. So we went from an idea to a completed space, and having Anders on our team every step of the way, making sure that we do it right, has been hugely helpful.
I think this thing could take off. I really do. I think there's a great need for it. It's a wonderful service. I think it's got a lot of potential.
So I really enjoy public speaking. I was a high school math teacher, so it's almost me getting back up in front of the classroom. But it's funny, I still get heart racing nervous no matter what it is. But we're so excited for the opportunity to be in front of 1,000 of our target market and really have the opportunity to share with them what we're doing.
Good luck to Dawn, Sherry, and Stacy as they get ready to present their pitch.